Let's try some Thai. Hey guys, welcome to At the Table. Sydney here, and today we have a yummy, tasty recipe from our Med Instead of Meds program. It's the last day of our National Mediterranean Diet Month, and I wanted to really highlight one of the recipes. This is a newer recipe. Anytime you are looking at our Med Instead of Meds website, which is medinsteadofmeds.com, anytime you look there and you search recipes, they'll have a button at the top that says See Newest Recipes. And I use that all the time. So we, of course, teach this program. Whenever we teach, we do hands-on cooking. So you learn everything about the Mediterranean diet, how to apply it to your life, and then we jump in here in this kitchen. You'll come over here and we'll actually be doing hands-on cooking with some of these recipes. So I like to pick, of course, recipes from our website to really showcase those. And they've been doing a really great job lately of making sure they're adding new recipes on there pretty regularly. So I did look through that and kind of pick something that sounded good, sounded really tasty, and we're gonna try it today. And that is a Thai-inspired heart of palm recipe. So we are using heart of palm noodles. This has become a really hot thing in all the nutrition food world, I guess you could say. People are just really enjoying this. So this is noodles made from hearts of palm, and hearts of palm are going to be any of your like palm tree varieties, and there's a ton of different ones out there, but it's basically the core of those trees, and they've turned it into noodles. So I actually struggled to find this a bit in Food Lion, so I'm going to tell you where it's at. If you are in the noodle section, it's actually on the very top shelf. So check out kind of the top upper level of your section, noodle section, and hopefully you'll find it. So it also can come in a can, so you might see it in another variety, another way. It might be packaged a little differently, so just keep your eyes open. So to start with for this recipe, we are just gonna go ahead and start chopping up our vegetables. So the reason why we're using kind of a different noodle for this dish is because, and why it's considered inspired, is because it is typical Thai recipes, your pad Thai recipes, are going to be a little bit more lower in the vegetables, and then also they're not going to have, of course, those heart of palm noodles. So that's part of where the inspiration comes from. And the reason why we're substituting heart of palm for what's typically rice noodles is because rice noodles really don't tend to have a lot of nutritional value. So not that they're a bad thing to eat. Again, everything in moderation. You can eat a variety of foods and still be healthy. But if you're looking for what I always like to say, the biggest bang for your buck, which when I'm eating a meal, that's what I'm going for, is I want to find something that's going to give me biggest bang for my buck, but still tastes good. That's the key, right? And our heart of palm noodles definitely do that. So if you're looking to kind of switch that up, that would be a great option for you. You don't really get much fiber, much really of anything with your rice noodles. And then we're also doing 2 cups of vegetables here. So you can choose really any type of vegetables that you enjoy. Today I just picked things that I mainly like, which is and things that I think flow together. And that was red pepper. I picked out some shallots. We've got Napa cabbage, carrots, and sugar snap peas. So I'm just cutting up this into bite-sized pieces. Probably actually, I'm gonna save this for something later. We'll just use a little bit. I'll go ahead and turn on my pan to get that started. A large skillet will be great for this. If you have a wok, that's even better. I left my wok at home, so we don't have that today, but our skillet is nice and big that we have here at the office, so that works perfectly. So I've got 2 shallots here. We're gonna cut up, I think I'll use both of those because I feel like it gives really good flavor. And shallots are typically where your garlic is at, so if you're not somebody who buys that very often and you're not sure where it's located, check out by your garlic, and you'll probably see them in a little baggie there. Just make sure that if you've got any bad spots, you kind of pull that off. And this is in the onion family, so it can still make you cry, so just be prepared for that. So I'm just gonna cut this up nice and small. And when you come to our classes as well, you do get to learn some of these knife skills. So if you're trying to improve your knife skills in the kitchen and you're like, man, Sydney, you cut so fast. I didn't always cut fast, let me tell you. So you have to start somewhere, and the more that you do it, the more practice you get, the better. So I'm gonna finish cutting this up. We'll see you guys back in just 1 second.
Most aging adults want to stay in their homes as long as possible. And as your loved ones get older, you want to support them, even when you can't be there. Star is proud to offer Star Alert. This new system is now mobile and has GPS compatibility, so your loved ones can live their lives and you can have peace of mind, knowing they can get the help they need with just the simple push of a button. The new Star Alert also offers automatic fall detection, so help will be alerted even if they can't press the button. Call and ask about Star Alert today.
Hey guys, welcome back. So we have our peppers and our shallots done. The shallots were very strong, in case you were curious. We're gonna go ahead and start cutting our carrots here. Now, if you are using, if you don't wanna cut carrots, you can absolutely use minced carrots or the shredded carrots that you get in the bag. You can even probably use the carrot chips if you wanna go that route. I'm doing a fancy cut here that is cutting this at an angle. And whenever we are cooking our carrots, I'll show you one without the angle cut. It's best if you do this kind of angled cut rather than a straight on cut. Whenever it's angled, you have more surface area, it's a little bit more flat, it's gonna cook more evenly and more quickly. Whenever it's just round, I'll put it down here so maybe you could see a little bit better. Whenever it's just round, it's gonna be thicker and it's not gonna cook quite as quickly. So just keep that in mind. I mean, there is a pretty big surface area difference between these two. So this just helps it to cook a little bit more evenly, a little bit more quickly. Carrots are, of course, gonna be a thicker vegetable. You could cut it nice and thin, but let's be honest, do we all cut it really thin whenever we're doing this? No, it can be kind of difficult. So just a little trick for you. Anytime you're cutting something, even like your celery, you could cut it at that angle. More of those stick-like vegetables, I guess you could say. Any way that you can get more of that surface area in is gonna be better in terms of stir frying. So anything that you're doing in a large pan for a stir fry. I'll keep going. And of course, our goal with that Mediterranean diet is to get lots and lots of those vegetables in. So ideally, we want to be trying new vegetables, adding different things to our diet, and whether that is in a stir fry, in a salad, there are tons of different ways that you can do that. And of course, we have lots and lots of recipes on that Med Instead of Meds website to kind of explore that even further. So next up, I'm just gonna use a little bit of canola oil. I do have my pan on pretty high heat over here, and I might actually turn it down just a hair. We don't want it to smoke. So anytime you start to see smoking, it doesn't matter what type of oil it is, smoking is not gonna be the best. Ideally, we want to avoid smoking because that is starting to get those oils to too high of a temperature. So I'm just going to add all of those in. Ooh, got a little pop in that happening. And whenever you're stir frying, that is typically cooking at a higher heat. So medium high to high heat. So we're going to let that cook up. I have adjusted my pan just a little bit lower. Of course, it just depends on your stovetop, on how hot that gets. And also your cooking pan can be affected as well. I have certain pans at home that whenever I cook in them, they're actually called ironclad pans, and those tend to cook, take longer to get hot, but then they hold the heat. All right, next thing I'm cutting is this Napa cabbage. So if you haven't tried Napa cabbage, it's really tasty. It's kind of got a sweet flavor to it. This isn't the best one that I've ever purchased, I'll be honest. I didn't have a lot of good options whenever I was in the grocery store. You can use the entire cabbage, the white part as well, especially for stir frying. If you're doing something like a salad, you probably don't want to use those white pieces just because they're a little bit more bitter, a little bit harder to chew. But this one has like little black spots all over the white part, so we want to avoid that as best we can. Pick some of this brown out as well. So ideally I'd have a little bit more cabbage than that. Probably should have bought 2 of these. But again, remember we're looking for 2 cups, and that's definitely at least a cup. This is going to be another cup here, so we've reached our 2 cups of vegetables. So we are good for the recipe. All right, so I'm going to throw this in. Oh, we have sugar snap peas too. Forgot about our sugar snap peas. I'm going to throw that in, and I'll throw our sugar snap peas in real quick. I'm not going to use this whole bag, so you can use, I like sugar snap peas just because I feel like they have good flavor. They're kind of sweet. I'll use about half of these, but I do like to buy them just because I enjoy snacking on these. This is one of my favorite veggies to snack on. All right, so we're gonna let that cook for just a few more minutes and get nice and cooked through, and then we'll see you guys back here in just a second to finish up our recipe.
Eastern North Carolina is a beautiful place where we gladly choose to call home. And we strive to provide the best communications services. STAR is committed to improving communications to all our service areas because we want to improve the communities where we not only work, but also live. STAR Communications. We are neighbors serving neighbors.
Hey guys, welcome back. So our veggies are looking good. They're still needing about just a little bit longer. Our carrots are not quite done yet. We want them to be nice and soft. So let those cook just a little bit more. And you want to make sure those are good and tender. And then we will add our pasta with air quotes. I have went ahead and strained our hearts of palm noodles. So this one actually said angel hair on it. They actually had in Food Lion, same brand, which was the Palmini brand. This is just what I could find. Again, I'm not promoting this specific brand. It's just all that they had. But they had, this one says angel hair. They had one that said lasagna noodles. I think there was one that said linguine. So if you want different textures, different widths and all that stuff, they did have a variety of those. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna start making our sauce. So first thing that we're gonna add is sriracha. Now I know our recipe said sambal or sambal. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce that, but that is basically a specific like Thai type of hot sauce. I could not find it in our grocery store. I looked in a couple different places So we're just gonna use this sriracha. Our recipe online does say if you can't find that, just use sriracha, it'll work. We also have a little bit of fish sauce, just a teaspoon, so not a lot. Fish sauce is very, very strong smelling, so just be prepared for that. And then we are gonna add a little bit of soy sauce, ideally using that low sodium soy sauce. And just 1 teaspoon of that. And then we need 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar. 1, 2. And then we're also gonna do just 1 teaspoon of sugar, which I did not bring up here. So I'll add that in a little bit. When we go on our next break, I'll grab some and throw it in there. We're not using the sauce right away anyways, so that's okay. But that is our sauce recipe. You could, of course, double it if you need to have a little bit extra flavor, or adjust that, as needed. And we will just kind of set that on the side. Hopefully at this point our carrots are all done. Yeah, I'm getting pretty soft. Still need just another minute. I think I am gonna just still go ahead and add my noodles to this anyways, just so that that starts to get heated through enough and is all ready for us. We'll throw that in. As you can see, one of the things about this dish is that we have a lot more of our vegetables than we do our noodles, right? And that's right, that's what we want. So even though hearts of palm are technically is technically a type of vegetable as well, anytime we make things in our Med Instead of Meds workshop, or when we're talking about the Mediterranean diet, we are really focused on those veggies. So we want to be focused a lot more on the vegetable part of our meal, getting lots of vegetables in. When we are having pasta, when we are having stir fry, we don't want it to be all rice or all pasta and no veggies, or limited veggies. We want the really meat of the dish to be the pasta, or not the pasta, the vegetables. So we want to make sure that we're getting lots and lots of veggies in, and that is how we kind of flip a little bit of that. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about the Mediterranean diet and ways to kind of go more med. One way to do that is just to kind of up your veggie portions and lower your pasta, your rice, I guess what you'd say starchy carb portions a little bit more. All right, looks good. So I did want to talk about hearts of palm real quick, just for a second. Hearts of palm does have some really good health benefits. One thing that it has in it is potassium. So this actually makes up, one serving actually makes up about 38% of your daily value of potassium. And potassium is really important because it is an electrolyte, and it actually helps to lower your blood pressure. So it does involve your blood pressure and all of that. It takes a role in your body to where it can affect your blood pressure, and that's in a positive way, and that's what we want, right? So it is going to be beneficial to help regulate blood pressure, and if you do have an issue with higher blood pressure, maybe it's hereditary or anything like that, then this could be one way that you help to reduce that a little bit. We also have a few other vitamins. Iron is one that's in there. I believe magnesium was in there. So we've got some really good nutrients that are all in our hearts of palm. There's a little fiber as well. I wouldn't say a ton of fiber, but there is some good fiber as well. So we're getting, again, bigger bang for our buck here. All right, this is almost done. We're gonna take a quick break, and we will see you guys back to finish up the rest of our dish.
Honey, did we pay our bill?
What bill?
The Star Communications bill. No worries, honey. With Star's paperless billing and automatic draft system, I get a notification sent right to my phone. There's no need to be bothered with those paper statements, and our bill is paid on time every month.
Well, that's easy and convenient.
It sure is, honey.
Honey,
Yes, dear.
the bake.
Oh, right.
Hey guys, welcome back. So our noodles and veggies look good. We are gonna add, I'm gonna push this all to the side actually. We are gonna add an egg to it. So just one egg here. And you just use the same pan so we're not dirtying a whole nother pan. And of course make sure that that is nice and cooked through, and then we'll kind of fold it all together. And then we are gonna just be topping this with some peanuts and a little bit of lime juice. I am so excited. Our sauce, I went ahead and added that teaspoon of sugar that I had mentioned I've left out, and it smells delicious. I was a little nervous because it has fish sauce in it. If you're anybody who's ever smelled fish sauce, it is very strong, very pungent, but it smells really delicious now. So now that it's all mixed together, it smells great. We are gonna just fold this together. And throw our veggies out, accidentally. And we're just gonna add in our sauce. And we'll let it sit for just a minute, and while that's happening, I'll finish up our peanuts, chopping those some, and our lime juice. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my pan off just because it is so hot that it will, we only need to cook this for about another minute, and I don't want it to overcook. But it looks good. So you could absolutely still add a protein here. I don't want you to think that the Mediterranean diet is not, is anti-eating any meats here. We just try to use more lean meats. So things like chicken, fish, pork is not technically or typically a part of the Mediterranean diet, but there are tons of different cuts of pork that are still very lean cuts of pork. So that is our goal, is just leanness. So we're really focused on that saturated fat content and making sure that we are choosing more of those unsaturated fats, which typically end up being our leaner meats, but also more of our plant-based proteins like peanuts here. We're gonna push those to the side. We only need about 2 tablespoons. Also gonna add a lime, so I'm just gonna cut this into some wedges. And that can be something you put on the side and people can just use, spritz it on their pad thai as they choose. Perfect, so that's already off. I'm gonna move this over and we'll just kind of sprinkle these on top. You could also just leave this on the side and let people kind of add their own peanuts as they choose. We'll go ahead and do a little spritz here. Again, that could be something that you probably leave on the side. Let people do as they choose. And it's done. So that really didn't take that long. I know it's a lot of chopping. If you were to make this at home, you've got a lot of free reign in terms of what vegetables you use. Really, I think the sauce is probably good, the amount that we did, but if you do want to do a little extra sauce, some people are just sauce folks and you want a little extra, you could absolutely go that route as well. You could throw extra peanuts on yours if you just really, really like the flavor of peanuts, leave them off if you don't. So lots of flexibility with this recipe, also in terms of adding your protein in there if you do want to add some chicken or shrimp or something of that nature. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Try it at home. Let me know if it tastes like your typical pad thai, if it's close. Okay, that's what our goal is. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the exact same flavor you're getting from a restaurant, but Hopefully it'll still be just as good to you and something that you can do simply at your own home. So thanks so much for seeing us today, and we will see you guys back next time on At the Table.